Campaign signs are everywhere during election season, with some candidates a little more zealous than others. Jeannie McDaniel is a state representative and up for re-election in November's general election. She thinks campaign signs have just gotten out of hand from what they originally were intended to be.
Well, I think they're yard signs. That's how they started out. And so in my mind, they go in people's yards, not in the right of way, not on businesses, and certainly not out along intersections where they can be obstruction of vision for people and motorists.
She has her own rule of thumb when it comes to campaign signs.
I don't like yard signs that well, and I try to limit my use of them. And sometimes you'll get rogue volunteers that'll go out the night before and put them up. But my family and I have tried to keep control of our signs, only give them to people who call us and ask us if they can display them. And there are other means of campaigning. I look at it as one small part, but not an end all. And I remind myself that yard signs don't vote. So just because you have the most signs out there doesn't mean you're going to have the most supporters at the polls. And so I think the idea is to use them wisely and be prudent in your use of them. And remember that when they end up in a bar ditch or a storm sewer, they can actually cause problems for city workers. And so we need to be cognizant of that.
And when they become a problem, they end up at city yards like this one.
Well, I don't have an exact number. I mean, it can vary from year to year, but we pick up, throughout the year, we pick up thousands of signs.
City Inspector Shannon Binge says candidates can put up signs up to 45 days before an election, and they have 7 days after an election to take them down. But there are also guidelines on where the signs can be placed.
They were being placed within 12.5 feet of the curb is when we would pick them up. They're allowed to be there for a period of time before the election and after the election. And other than, if it's on private property, but if it's on city right-of-way, then we remove it.
Candidates have a window of opportunity to retrieve their signs, and the ones that are left are sent off to be recycled.
Recycling experts call these litter on sticks, and rightfully so. The only thing that can be recycled are the sticks.
And while some people may want to take matters into their own hands, city officials do not recommend it.
We tell citizens do not pick them up. Political speech is one of the most protected speeches there are. And if you get overzealous in picking up signs, you might find yourself in a bad situation.